Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and today we are going through all of my to be read physically owned books. So shaming myself just a little bit here by calling out every single book I have on these shelves that I haven't read yet. We're probably going to go in 4 sections at a time so I don't have to move the camera so much, and we'll see how choppy this ends up being or how cohesive and how long. But I will run a tally at the very end of how many physical to be read books I have. So let's go ahead and get into it. The Magicians, The Magician King, and The Magician's Land, all by Lev Grossman. The Children of Hurin by J.R.R. Tolkien. Finding God in the Lord of the Rings by Brunner and Ware. Companion to Narnia by Paul Ford. Red Queen and Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. The Queen of the Tearling and the Invasion of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. Stalking Jack the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. The Last Days of Magic by Mark Tompkins. A Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Daughters of Ruin by Kastner. The Wicked Deep and Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash. The Golem and the Jinni by Helen Wecker. Graceling, Bitter Blue, and Fire by Kristen Kishore. Crystal Storm and Immortal Rain by Morgan Rhodes. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm by Christopher Paolini. Daughter of the Forest and Son of the Shadows by Juliette Marillier. The Wheel of Time, The Eye of the World, and The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. Roseblood by A.G. Howard. Pacifica by Kristen Simmons. Scythe and Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman. These are some nonfiction books, so there's only some that I actually want to read. Some are Skylar's, but the ones I want to read are Comet's Tale by Stephen D. Wolfe and Trapped in Hitler's Hell by, I can't read that name from here. In an Absent Dream by Shannon McGuire and Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie McLemore. The Inventions, Researches, and Writings of Nikola Tesla. I'm probably not ever going to actually read that. Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales by the Brothers Grimm. The Snow Queen and Andersen's Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen. The Fireside Book of Dog Stories, and Irish Fairy and Folk Tales by Yeats. Mirror, Mirror by Gregory Maguire. Tales of the North by Jack London. The Mutiny on the Bounty Trilogy by Nordhoff and Hall. The Book of Virtues by William J. Bennett. Best Loved Plays of William Shakespeare by William Shakespeare. And 2 volumes of Greatest Short Stories, Volume 3 and Volume 6 by Collier. Dune, Destined for Dune, Shades of Dune, and Forever Dune by Cor and Langdon. Clariel, Lyriel, and Aborzen by Garth Nix. The Book of Merlin by T.H. White. The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. The Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. And back here I've got more poetry books. Zenith and Nexus by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. Perlandra by C.S. Lewis and That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis. The Lady of the Rivers, The White Queen, The Red Queen, The Kingmaker's Daughter, The White Princess, The King's Curse, The 3 Sisters, 3 Queens by Philippa Gregory, The Boleyn Inheritance, The Taming of the Queen, The Queen's Fool, The Virgin's Lover, The Other Queen, and The Last Tudor by Philippa Gregory, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, Never to Return Again by Christine Makepeace, Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane, and The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, and Women in Horror Annual by Christine Makepeace and Katz. And I have volumes 5 through 7 of Vampire Night and volumes 1 and 2 of Orange. The Chimes and the Cricket on the Hearth by Charles Dickens, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, Bleak House by Charles Dickens, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, Emma and Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, Candide by Voltaire, and Ward No. 6 and Other Short Stories, or just other short stories by Anton Chekhov. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, the Other Short Stories portion of this book by Robert Louis Stevenson, The Complete Sherlock Holmes Volume 1 and 2 by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, and Beowulf, The Man in the Iron Mask by Alexandre Dumas, Shardik by Richard Adams, A Pair of Blue Eyes by Thomas Hardy, The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James, and The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. An Echo in the Bone and Written in My Own Heart's Blood by Diana Gabaldon, The Metamorphosis and the Trial by Kafka, The Color Purple by Alice Walker, A High Wind in Jamaica by Richard Hughes, Lost in the Horse Latitudes by H. Allen Smith, The Year of Living Dangerously by C.J. Koch, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, The Power and the Glory by Graham Greene, The Last of the Mohicans by Cooper, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck, Romancing Miss Bronte by Juliet Gale, My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, Life Behind Barbed Wire by Soga, Boys in the Boat by Daniel James Brown, Not by Sight by Kate Brenslin, Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosny, The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Moores, Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak, A History of Pirates by Nigel Cawthorne, Life of Pi by Jan Martel, The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis, The Whiskey Sea by Anne Howard Creel, Abdication by Juliet Nicholson, The Last Town on Earth by Thomas Mullen, Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet by Jamie Ford, The Coddingsley Secret by Hazel Gaynor, Shannon by Frank Delaney, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum. On this last shelf we have, I think I stopped on this one, so You're the One That I Want, Nobody Does It Better, Nothing Can Keep Us Together, Only in Your Dreams, Would I Lie to You, Don't You Forget About Me, and I Will Always Love You. These are all Gossip Girl novels by Cicely von Ziegler. All right, so that is my list of physical TBR books. I don't have a total right now, but it will be in the thumbnail of this video, and I can also put it in the description as well. But I'm sure it's somewhere between like 170 and 225, which is a ridiculous number, but a number that I definitely plan to get down even more in 2020. I did a pretty good job in 2019, but definitely have some more work to do, obviously. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to know if you are in kind of the same boat as me, where you have a ridiculous number of physical books you own that you haven't read yet. And if you know how many you have, please do let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can do some buddy reads if you have any of the same ones in 2020 to help each other get our TBRs down a bit. So I hope you enjoyed, like I said, and I will chat with you down in the comments until my next video. Bye!